It's like a normal day in LA.
You said what? It look like a normal day where? In Oakland?
This normal day in LA.
Oh, okay.
I feel like this guy's not even protesting. He just wanted attention.
Nah, he protesting. I don't know. He's shooting a bird at somebody. He pointing at the cops too. Okay. Come on, man. All right, I'm gonna let it finish. So have you seen this video before? Because I've not seen this. All right.
No. I haven't.
So first things first. Do you remember that show when we were kids on like a History Channel? It used to come on after like dog fights. It was like dog fights. It was Ancient Aliens, and there was a great show that I used to watch. It's called Locked Up Abroad. Do you remember this show? Please tell you remember this show. Have you?
No.
You've not seen Locked Up Abroad.
I think I've seen clips of Locked Up, not Locked Up Abroad.
I'm pretty sure it was either History Channel or E. I could be misremembering there. But Locked Up Abroad, I'll see if I can find a clip. It was basically stories like Westerners going to foreign countries, you know, Southeast Asia, parts of Africa, even parts of Europe, breaking their laws and getting locked up for extended periods of time, either intentionally or unintentionally. Most times, I think unintentionally breaking their laws and getting locked up into these like horrible prisons for years. And you know, this is a thing. This is like why I guess why Westerners in general, like for instance, when they go to Dubai, what do people always say? Don't break the rules. Don't break the law. It might be nice, but you know, they're going to throw the book at you. Just don't break the laws. And so why is it, this is my opinion, and I think the vast majority of Americans and legal immigrants feel this way. How in the world are people here who are criminals because once you cross the border illegally, you're a criminal. How are you coming here protesting the fact that they're saying, hey, we're actually going to uphold our rule of law, and you people, I'm sorry, but you need to go. You need to come in the proper way. How are you protesting, standing on a street side, flicking off the cops, and thinking this is somehow going to help your argument or make people want to agree with you and be like, who's going to pick my grapes? Come on, like, who are you serious? Like, please tell me you understand what I'm saying. Please tell me that's not crazy. That's not, this guy looks insane. This guy, they need to call ICE on this guy. That's my opinion. This guy gotta go. I don't know if he's here legally or illegally. He gotta go. Like, it's crazy. Come on, man.
The one guy looks crazy, but the 1,000 people behind him seem fine. Like, they're not doing anything illegal. They're not breaking anything or burning anything.
True. But I think we talked about this. We actually did talk about this. This is horrible optics. This is horrible. I'm gonna mute it and just let it play. This is horrible. Count out the American flags for me. Just so we're clear, because we know what's going on. Count out the American flags. Let me know when you see one.
What's the blue one? What's that blue flag?
That's like Honduras. I swear, that's either like Honduras or man, that's Honduras. That's Honduras.
Why is Finland there?
You see Finland? Is Finland there?
No, this is what I thought that blue flag was for a second.
Nah, I'm pretty sure that's either Honduras or it could be Costa Rica. But wait, I know, not Costa Rica, Guatemala. It's either Honduras or Guatemala. I think I'm leaning towards Guatemala actually. Yeah. But anyway, you see an American flag anywhere? I don't see an American flag anywhere. So again, we talked about this like the other day. Like, to me, this is horrible optics. Like, if you were in a country illegally and you had been there for generations illegally, working illegally, you know, you're paying taxes, and then that country eventually comes to the point where they're like, you know what, we need to get a hold of this. You know, we need to give these jobs to Americans. We need to figure out an immigration situation. Like, this is a problem. If you were really there to have a better life for yourself and also help the country and help your family, help have them a better future, don't you think it will make more sense for them to be protesting, walking down the streets, holding American flags, saying we are? Wouldn't that show that they want to actually assimilate into America and they're not just here, you know, to leech off of America? Like, what am I wrong? Like, it just doesn't. Because I hate this argument. I used to actually argue with my dad about this when I was younger. But like, I hate the argument when they're like, well, if you don't like it, leave. You know, like, if you don't like America so much, leave. But honestly, leave. Like, what are we doing? To me, this is crazy. If America is such a shithole, you hate it, and you're here illegally, and you demand to stay here, what is going? Leave, bro. If you're all on this bridge or this overpass with Mexican flag, go back to Mexico. Like, what? This is horrible optics. No one is gonna no American in their right mind is gonna look at this and say, "Yep, give me." I agree with them. They do not want to be American. Like so you're gonna let people just leech off of you? Like, this is crazy. Like, where am I wrong? Let me know, or if you just disagree with some parts of what I'm saying. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't care if they have what flag they have. I don't care if it was Mexico, Germany, Canada, whatever else. I don't really care. I've heard that they burnt some flags.
Yeah, they did.
It's not illegal. Supreme Court said that's under freedom of speech. So
okay, so
it's not a crime.
It's not a crime.
It's tacky, okay, or bad, but it's not a crime,
bro. If somebody came into your house, I think you're giving them a little bit too much grace here. If somebody illegally broke into your house and was camping out in your backyard for years, and then you would just let them stay. All right, man. I mean, keeping the grass cut. You know, you just stick around for a little bit, you know, and then a few generations later, your grandson or granddaughter, whoever owns the property, is like, you know what? I can cut my own grass. Like, I mean, you're not really like
more complicated to me.
you're like, you gotta go back, man. Like, this is getting out of control. I need the space. Like, I can do this myself. Like, this is getting out of control. And they're like, no. And they start burning your bushes. Burning your lawn furniture. You're like, man, I don't really care. Come on, man. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
For me, there's three reasons why it's a little complicated, and this falls into a gray area. One is they were here first.
Okay. I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah, let me do all three. But they were here first. They predate white. Like, George Lopez predates Tom Cruise as far as who got to America first. Like, George Lopez's people were here first, as far as you know predates Brad Pitt, Conan O'Brien, and Trump. Obviously, Elon Musk. He just got here, goddamn, two decades ago or whenever. But so one, they got here, they predate America. Two is, I mean, we need them, because if a strawberry picker and tomato picker, and as far as agriculture and construction in general, they make a fraction of what an American makes. Like, if they get rid of them and get some Americans, and let's say the Mexicans and Guatemalans and so on were making $10 a day, and here they hired Americans, now it's $70 a day. The company isn't going to eat that cost. They're going to put it on the consumer. So will our produce, triple, quadruple in price if you got rid of all illegal workers?
Okay, so I'm gonna try to address all of your points. The first one you just said about George Lopez.
Oh, sorry, the third one, real quick.
Okay.
We ruined their country, as far as CIA doing coups and doing puppet leaders and this and that. Right. Even if drugs were legal, if they made, or not just all drugs, even if they just made marijuana legal, that would take away billions from the Mexican cartel.
Right.
So it's things that America has done to not just South America, but like Iran, Iraq, almost every African country. Right. It's stuff that we've done to other countries. Is a reason why they're fleeing to America or fleeing to Europe for the more for in the Middle East and in Africa, whatever. Europe and America are the arsonists, and these poor people are trying to get away from the smoke and the fire. So those three reasons are why it's a little complicated to me.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna try to address everything you just said, because I think I have a rebuttal for everything. And also, like, your last point, I do agree with that sentiment, because that's just a fact. Like, that is true. I am gonna do a rebuttal for it, because, like, I think you're giving them way too much grace, and you're missing a large portion of this, which I'm having trouble understanding how you're missing it, but that's fine. So the first thing you said was, like, George Lopez and his people have been here longer than Tom Cruise, et cetera, et cetera. So what? First, if you want to really look at it in that fashion, we all should go back to Africa. All of us, because all of humanity originated from Africa. If you want to believe what people say, we all should go back to Africa. Like, so what? Like, this is where the country is right now. Was it right? Was it wrong? No, like it was not right. But that's the way it is right now. So, yes, America is a melting pot. That's what it's supposed to be. Does that give people the right to just come? This is the same argument the Israelis make. Oh, we were here first. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Like, look, do we have a country or do we not have a country? Right? And like, I'll add on top of that the fact that, like, what was it, like from Reconstruction all the way to the Civil Rights Movement to Jim Crow up until now. What did white European Americans used to say to African Americans all the time? What did they say? Go back to Africa. They used to say this all the time. But what did the black American used to say back to them? No. This is the clear difference that I see between us and what I'm seeing with these Mexican immigrants. Is there, well, not even just Mexican, that's a broad stroke, but majority Mexican immigrants, right? We will say no, because like it's 400 plus years being in this country. Most of it, and again, this is something I used to argue with my father about. It's like, I consider myself American. I don't have I don't have lineage back to Africa. I'm American. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
That's a uniquely black American situation. I mean, really, I guess you could say Native Americans are in the same boat too.
Yeah,
which is funny because they've tried to deport and harass Native Americans too, as far as the Trump administration. I don't know how you deport a Native American.
Yeah, that's insane. I agree. I agree. That's insane.
But they're trying to figure it out.
But like what I'm saying is, like, to me, there's a clear difference. There's a clear difference, and if you try to say that, oh well. I mean, I'm going to address your second and third point, but I'm going to loop in the third one here. If you try to say, well, the Mexican immigrants and the South American immigrants, America destroyed their country. America literally brought its own slave ships over here. We have a bigger gripe than you do, I think. You know, if we're going off of gripes, right? If we're going off who had it worse, which I hate doing. Like, oh, we had it worse than you guys. It's stupid. We have been here, the black American. You're an American. Like, I've gone back and forth over this my entire life. Am I African American? Am I black? A lot of black Americans have gone over this. It's a different culture and it's a different heritage. They clearly do not want to assimilate into America and say it's because America destroyed their country. I don't even think that's most of them even care. Most of them don't care. They strictly want to come to America to take advantage. This is why they're coming over illegally. They're not coming over. If they really want to come here for a better life, they would try to do it the legal way. This is why there's a separation between the legal immigrant, who for years came over and did things the right way, and then the illegal immigrant, right? I see a direct comparison between their situation and African Americans or black Americans, however you want to describe yourself.
I really don't. I don't see what has to do with the other. How does this even relate?
They don't want to be. What do you mean? How does it not relate? They don't want to be Americans. They're in the country illegally, and they're holding flags of a foreign country, right? What is happening? Do we have laws or do we not have? Go to any other country and be there illegally. Hold the flag of your home country. Say that country that you're in illegally is shit. You hate it, and then expect them not to throw the book at you. That's crazy. That's insane.
You're making the assumption that these people are illegal.
I'm not saying. Okay, I'm not saying
that it could be their parents. Okay. It could be their grandparents. It could be their uncles, their friends.
That's fine.
Their nieces,
okay,
their
you gotta
nephews.
Let me finish though. Like, but this is what I'm saying. Like, you're giving them so. You remember how you said that I was giving Trump too much grace? You're giving them so much grace and the benefit of the doubt. It's actually crazy to me. Like, I'm not saying that these particular people are. No, but it could be a friend. It could be a family. It could be them. But it's horrible optics, and it's just a fact. You cannot do this anywhere else around the world. This is crazy. Like, this is actually insane. And yes, I do see
it. It's America.
I do see it as insane. I don't know what that means, but I'm using my experience, in my people's experience compared to their experience. Black Americans have routinely said no. Go back to Africa. No, we're not African. We're going to be.
We don't have a home.
American.
We don't have a home. That's why
we do have a home. America.
Say that.
What are you talking about?
We don't have a backup home.
A backup home. Okay, back up home.
Like a Mexican American has Mexico.
They go to
Irish
Mexico.
American has Ireland. An Italian American, an African American. Africa's not as you know. I know you know this, but Africa's not a country. Like it's a continent with dozens of countries with different languages, different cultures. Like it's like saying go back to Asia. Like it's
okay.
What do you mean by Asia? Iran or Japan?
I get you, but that's semantics, though, bro. Like.
We don't have a home.
We have a home. It's America. That's our home.
I'm sorry, we don't have a backup home.
We need a backup home. Well, our backup home is America. My backup home is Georgia.
My point is literally everyone else besides us and Native Americans have a backup home, like having a point of origin. I mean, when Native Americans,
we do.
Like
everyone
Siberia
has a point of origin. There's Africa. Everyone.
That's not a country. I'm saying a country.
There weren't countries back then.
We don't know.
If you believe the science, there was no country back then. We all originated from Africa. That's our backup country. There you go, Africa. Everybody.
But we don't have a backup country.
Why do we need a backup country? We're American. What is going on? A backup country?
But white Americans have it. I'm saying every person besides us and Native Americans to a degree has a backup country.
This is what I don't understand.
There's no plan B for Black Americans.
Because you're American. Like who cares? Who cares? You think the guy who's like, hey, I'm German American, like I can go to like Germany's my backup country. I get they're American, bro. They could probably their history hadn't been destroyed, so they can trace their lineage back. But they claim to be American. This is why they're running around American flags, because they're American.
Yeah, they are American. But I'm saying they have a motherland. We don't have a motherland.
Okay, great. But why do we need to have a backup? I don't understand
we need
that.
one. I'm saying that's why it's odd to me. This is very apples and oranges to compare this Mexican situation, or not a Mexican situation. It's more of a Latino situation right now. But it will. I mean, there are some like Jamaicans and Haitians involved too. But
of course,
it's mostly a Latino situation
and Southeast Asians as well.
Compare it to our situation.
But I'm not saying it's apples and oranges. I'm just using it as a comparison to show where people wanted to actually assimilate to a country compared to people who didn't. We had every right not to want to assimilate to this country, and the vast majority of African Americans or Black Americans or whatever have routinely for generations said no. We had every reason not to. Literally every reason not to. And here's a very similar situation, and they're literally holding flags of foreign nations in the country that they say they don't like. What is going on? Like, come on. Like, it's not just bad optics. That's crazy.
Maybe it's their way of showing like pride or resistance. I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know why they're doing it. Maybe one of these videos a reporter asked them. But
yeah,
I wouldn't say holding a Mexican flag means that they like Mexico more than America. They're just pissed at America at the moment.
You get away with that.
They're doing Mexican pride.
You get away with that. You get away with that. If we could find a video, there's literally videos of these same protests around the country where I don't speak Spanish, obviously, but they will say, like for instance, one was like LA migra. It's like LA is migrants or whatever, and they're all holding Mexican flags. It's like, why can't LA migra and then be an American flag? Yeah, you can say this is a migrant city. It was a city built with the migrants to become American. Protesting, shutting down highways, and there's not a single American flag. There's no reading between the lines here. They're telling you. Like, come on! Like, this is the same. Like, I don't think there's any assumptions that need to be made here. I think this is the exact same thing. And I hope you can see the comparison here. We're talking about Elon. He's like, I give my heart to you. He did a Nazi salute. He's a Nazi. Don't do this whole you don't believe your lying eyes trash. They're holding flags of a foreign country, saying they hate America, protesting the police, protesting the people, protesting the government, saying they don't like to be here. And then who knows? Some of them may be illegal. Some of their family members are illegal. I have compassion for the situation, but do we have laws or do we not have laws? Nowhere else in the world would this be allowed to happen. Literally nowhere. Like, it's actually insane. But I don't know. I think it's horrible optics. And I do believe that people, even people in the not on the right, the regular American, if they see the people in these cars seeing this, they're like, okay, well, wait a minute, like, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. You don't like it here, but then if they try to deport you, you're like, oh no, what are you doing? You're ruining my future. Like what? It doesn't track logically. It just doesn't track for me. All right, sorry. Your second point This is something else that I honestly think that a lot of people on the left need to stop doing, because it really is kind of like it's saying the quiet part out loud, and it's horrible optics again, where you say, well, what about our economy? And I alluded to this before. It's like, who's gonna pick my strawberries? What? It's like, who's gonna pick your the price of strawberries are gonna go up because you don't have an illegal immigrant to pick your strawberries? Mia, you were just talking about the H-1B visa situation not too long ago, about how corporations are exploiting people, getting cheap labor. And here's a very similar situation where it shouldn't be happening. These jobs should be going to American citizens who are getting paid a fair rate. This needs to be fixed. You should not be exploiting people.
There's a big difference to me there.
Wait, come on, man. You shouldn't be doing it. This is ridiculous.
There's a lot of things we shouldn't be doing.
It's time to fix it. It's time to fix it. What's the problem? Like that to me, that sounds like a Republican talking point. That sounds like something that somebody on the right would say. Oh, like some like freaking plantation owner, way back when. Oh, the price of cotton is gonna go up if my slaves get free. Like, what the hell? Like,
I just don't want food's high enough. I don't want it to go 5 times higher. That's my point. Me neither.
But you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, to me, that sounds crazy.
In a perfect world, you'd be right. But we live in America.
All right, man. Look, well, it's time to fix some things. That's all I'm saying. Like, I really think, and you're not the first person that's made that argument. I just think people on the left should stop making that argument. It does not
it's real. Our whole economy. Our whole economy, whether it's agriculture or I'm a sneakerhead, but I'm looking at some Jordans and Nikes I have right now. They were probably made in a sweatshop by some 12-year-old Asian and a 100-year-old Asian working in there, making a dime a dollar. So, it's all, if we're gonna, frown our nose at the Latinos picking our fruits and vegetables, then where does the line stop? Because we have cheap labor in sweatshops for clothes and shoes and electronics or cell phones. Okay. So where's the line?
What? But why can't you fix it? Why is the option either there's no line, there's no line, or I don't know where the line is? How about you at least do something? Because right now we ain't doing nothing.
If you fix it, I guess my question would be: if you fix it, will fruits be 5 times higher? Will Jordans go from, let's say, $200 to $400? If it was Americans making it, or if it was adults making it and they were getting a good salary?
This is what I think. Yes, our economy needs to be fixed. Our economy needs to be reworked. A lot of sectors of our economy has been based off of cheap labor and illegal labor. We need to give those jobs to Americans. Yes, the cost of these things will go up, but yes, our incomes will probably need to go up as well. And I think our incomes will go up. I don't think just saying that, oh, well, they've been here for so long, we can't do anything about it. We have to have our cheap strawberries. It's to me, that just sounds mad. It sounds mad. If this was my household and I was running the finances and I knew that, I can go get groceries, but the people who are actually getting the groceries for me, I was only paying them a little bit under the table, and I can't stop doing that. Otherwise my price, that's crazy. Otherwise the price of the groceries is going to increase. That's crazy. You need to fix that. That's not a long-term situation. That's not a long-term solution. You need to fix it. You've dug yourself in a hole and it's time to dig yourself out of it. You need to fix it. Those jobs should be going to Americans. If these people want to come in the country legally and do that work and be an American citizen, and instead of standing here having Mexican flags and all this, say that you want to be a part of it. It's horrible optics. Say that you want to be an American and you're not a criminal. You work hard. You want to raise your family proper. You love being in the country, and you want to do things the right way. Why is that difficult? I don't understand. I don't understand. Not all immigrants are criminals. Shocking. I remember working at hospitality, in college. I knew a lot, especially anyone who worked in the restaurant industry. You notice a lot of illegal immigrants, great people, hardworking people, good families. Some of them were good friends back then, right? Some of them got the Dream Act, matter of fact. These were good people. But you have to have laws. You have to have rules. And I'm sorry it's happening to them now, but this has been going on since me and you were kids. You always hear stories about people jumping over the border and all this. It's a problem. You need to fix it. If the price of Jordans go up, guess what? It gone up. I'm sorry. What's going on? It needs to fix, bro. I don't know what else to say. Anyway, so lastly, your last point. What were you saying about? Actually, give me your last point again. I've already forgotten. What was it? I thought I remember what it was. Oh, it was that America destroyed these countries, right? That was your.
Or at least played a hand in it. Yeah.
Okay, this is true. America has definitely we all know this now, especially with the internet and information. We all know this, right? We know about the coups and the potential coups and interfering in elections and destroying governments and, extraditing people and all this. America has done, damage to a lot of countries around the world. Very true. Very true. However, I must say, to me, if America has done such damage to these countries, I personally would not want my family, friends, anyone to go to that country. To me, it just wouldn't make sense. I'm going to the place ruled by the people who destroyed my country, and then I'm going to go there, live there, and then have this is what they say, have a better life for myself. Like, wait a minute. To me,
by that logic, shouldn't you be Pan-African?
Why would I be Pan-African? I'm not from Africa. Why are you saying this to me?
Because you just said, think about what you just said. Like, what? Why would you want to live around the people and in the country who did these horrible things to you?
Because, okay.
That's what you're doing.
No, I'll explain. We've been here for 500 years. The people who wanted to leave, there was Pan-Africanism. That was way before us. We've been here for 500. I have no relation to Africa. Zero. Like none. Like,
I'm just saying the situation you said just applied to you.
It's different. They don't have 400 years of history. They don't have 500 years of history. The Black American has been in the Western Hemisphere and in America for over 500 years. Like, it just no.
I mean, they've been here longer. But I get what
I'm just saying, but there was a Pan-Africanism. These things happen. You can literally look through Black American history and see the different stages of where we've grieved, hated the country, wanted to find something else. We didn't have a history. Went to Pan-Africanism, even though some majority of us had no relation to Africa whatsoever. Like, we literally went through this. They have not gone through this. They have just come here and they're taking advantage. Do I blame them for doing it? No. I mean, some of them probably do have a vendetta. I don't blame them, but you cannot blame the country, the people who are like literally saying, okay, you clearly have a vendetta against us. You're flicking us all off. You're holding the country, your home country's flag, telling us that you can't remove us. Why would the average American who had nothing to do with destroying your country look at that and be like, yeah, we should let them stay? Come on, man. Like, no one thinks this, especially if the average American is struggling themselves. No one. No, it's not. It just does not work that way. I'm sorry. It just does. No American who's struggling to buy groceries right now is looking at these protests and being like, man, we destroyed Mexico. Like, what? No, come on.
I think that's what the average American thinks. The average American, I don't even think they do think. So
okay.
I don't know what they're thinking. It doesn't seem like they're thinking at all. Vote for Trump and Elon Musk and all these crazies. So.
Right. I'm just gonna play this in the background. It's muted. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, I would say, I don't know. I'm fine with them being deported if it's like quote unquote the right way. If they're illegal, obviously, because there have been reports of like Puerto Ricans and others getting swept into it, and it's obviously is impossible for a Puerto Rican to be illegal because the Puerto Ricans are Americans. So if they are picked up and then dropped off from in their place of origin, but as far as like, let's take them to Guantanamo Bay for what? X amount.
I don't think they're taking every immigrant to Guantanamo Bay. They're taking the criminal illegal immigrants.
We don't know that.
Okay, I think it's highly unlikely that they're just taking. You see, that's an assumption that they're just taking all immigrants to Guantanamo.
Yeah, by you.
Like, what do you mean? Well, you just made that assumption that they're taking all immigrants there. You can't make. Come on, man.
I didn't say that.
Oh, what are you saying? Because I just heard you say they're taking all immigrants.
I said they could.
Oh,
take
okay.
Them there. I didn't say they were taking them.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. I was like, wait, what? Like, come on, man. Like that. I think that if you were saying that, I was like, that's not even a bit of a stretch. Like, that's a crazy stretch. Like, come on, man.
With Trump being involved, anything's possible. With Trump and Musk and George, they could be doing anything.
I don't know. Like, I feel like I've spoken to you about this like a lot over the years. You consider yourself an American, right? You're a Black American. I have literally again, you don't know this. I have argued with my dad about this my entire life. He would hate me. I'm like, man, I'm an American. And see, because he's from a different generation. You know, he went through he was Malcolm X.
I mean, in a different country.
He literally went through this though, right? But he became the black Muslim guy. Like he literally,
he's an immigrant, right?
Yeah, he's from Trinidad, right? But he went through this. Like he literally went through this. And then my mom's family, same thing. They're black American. There are no immigrants there. And they would both tell me the same thing. The only difference is my mom, anytime I would say, I'm an American, I have no history to Africa. Like, why would I want to go to Africa? She'd be like, yeah, I agree. Like, I don't know where this Africa thing comes from. It makes no sense. Yeah, she got caught, her and my dad got caught up in like the 60s black Muslim thing because it was a thing. Because again, we didn't have a history. We didn't know our background. So people were grasping for anything. This is just true. Black Americans were grasping for anything. They didn't really know what to get a hold of, you know? That's the honest truth. But the vast majority of black Americans, they consider themselves to be American. How many years does it take before you're like, okay, well, it's been 400 plus years. I think I'm an American. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, I'm an American. So you look at this and you think to yourself, like, what are they doing? Like, this is in Times Square, by the way. Times Square in New York, not a single American flag. Not one.
I really don't care about the flag thing, but I do think some of these signs are stupid. I just saw one said no one is illegal. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like, they are definitely illegal people. Like, I agree we can't have open borders, which a lot of times people say, Democrats want open borders, which is not true. Like Biden, Obama. Maybe, I don't know who, maybe someone you argue with on Twitter does, but none of the Democratic politicians want open borders. And yeah, you can't have open borders. So like I said, I'm fine with illegals, but I also don't think people should be retroactively
You said you're
made
fine
illegal.
with illegals?
I'm fine with illegals getting deported, but I don't think...
I was like, wait, what?
I'm fine with them getting deported, but I don't think they should be retroactively made illegal, like what Trump is trying to do with the whole, like, who's a natural born citizen, or what they pretty much dog whistling about with the Haitians and the dogs and cats, because those Haitians, I believe in Springfield, they are and were legal because they are here through they're basically like refugees. So they are, most of them are illegal, but they obviously, you can, like, if they get rid of their status, they're kind of like retroactively making them illegal. Like, they've been here for 5, 10, 20 years and added millions of dollars to that city through tax revenue, and crime there is normal, or really doing really well compared to the rest of America. Like, why bother them? And I mean, the answer is because MAGA's racist. Like, they want the country to be as white as possible. Like, this is all somewhat rooted in racism.
We can talk about that. I think that's a whole longer conversation. However, I the whole, like, retroactively, like, making someone illegal, you're talking about, like, birthright citizenship. That's what you're referring to, right?
Yeah.
This is the whole argument about, like, anchor babies, quote unquote, and birthright citizenship. Do you actually think it's an issue to look into actual birthright citizenship and what that amendment actually meant? Because again, like, I'm not saying this, like, I know this and you don't, blah, blah, blah. I consider myself the Malcolm X here. My father's an immigrant, just like Malcolm X, from the Caribbean, and my mother's a black American, right? So I'm seeing both sides of this, and I'm like, look, we've been in the West for how long? Like, I don't have it. Again, I have no roots to Africa. I know, because I looked into this, and it's true. That law was originally designed for the children of slaves. That's what it was there for. That's when black Americans were gaining their rights as people in the country. That's what that law was made for. It was not made for people who broke the law to come across the border, which is breaking the law, having a child, and therefore that child is a citizen, therefore the parents became citizen. Just be honest, that's not what it was for. Like, it's just not. It's just not. Like,
I mean, the parents don't become citizens.
Okay.
They just don't want to separate them.
They don't want to separate them, and then eventually they can have a road to citizenship. This was the whole DREAM Act. And the reason I'm referencing this, because I know somebody in particular, I know several people back when I was working in hospitality, who got the Dream Act, and also because one of the reasons why they got fast tracked through the Dream Act is because they had quote unquote anchor babies. This is what I'm telling. They're immigrants in New York right now. They're immigrants in New York who know that they won't be separated, and they have a delay in their deportation if they have a child. So a lot of them come, and this was happening in New York. They'll be in those hotels, and they'll just get pregnant, just get pregnant, have a child. That's come on, man. Like, surely you see how that's taking advantage and exploiting a rule when it's not even when it wasn't originally meant for them. It wasn't.
I mean,
that was meant
that's
for
two different things to me.
Okay.
Like the idea that being born in America makes you an American, and
no other country, literally no other country does that. That's actually crazy.
I mean, there's a lot. They don't do a lot of things we do. We're the best. We're the best and the worst at the same time somehow. But yeah, I think if you're born in America, you are an American, and there could be rules added to get rid of the anchor baby situation. But don't throw, no pun intended, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, you could say they could add on there, like, if you enter illegally,
that's what they're trying to do
to your child. They're trying to get rid of it. No, they're trying to do more than that.
Nah, I saw that they were literally trying to put in change the rule, basically saying if you came in the country illegally, breaking the law, and you have a child, you're not then able to, that child's not a citizen. You're not able to be anchored to that child. Like, you broke the law. That's the whole point. Like, they're
trying to do more than just that.
Like what?
Like, just get rid of the idea of that being born in America. Like, get rid of that statute.
Right. I don't know. I have to think about that one, because part of me thinks that maybe you should kind of get rid of it, and another part of me is like, I don't know, because there's an issue, because we're talking about this has been an issue for far too long in America. We do need to have borders. We cannot have people just coming across the border illegally and then working jobs. That's why we don't make anything in America anymore, which is freaking ridiculous. Like, we've allowed the oligarchs to run out to suck us dry, basically. You know, they get cheap labor, they selling it, we're just consuming everything, and it's because this is one of the reasons. Like, this is a direct contributing factor of it. We need to have laws. We need to have borders. It's gonna be painful. We need to fix our economy. These jobs should be going to Americans. They should. You cannot tell me there's somebody not in Philadelphia right now, you know, who's not gonna go out there and pick them strawberries. I can find somebody outside right now who, if you didn't have a job, it's like, man, I'll go pick some strawberries. Especially knowing that if these people aren't doing it anymore, that their income will increase. You know, they'll get paid more because they have to pay them a competitive rate, a competitive income as an American citizen. Why not? Like, there's way too many unemployed people. There's way too many homeless people. There's way too many issues in America for this to continue, in my opinion. There's way too many homeless vets. We had cities just burned down. They say, oh, we can't afford it. What do you mean? We're the richest country on the earth, right? In the history of mankind. Then why are we giving people whose houses burnt down $700? Like, something is wrong. Something is wrong here. There's a hurricane, and you can't help the people rebuild their homes. Or the richest country, we're giving Israel and Ukraine all this money, and then the same people arguing. They say, "Oh, it's because the way the budget gets constructed." Fire! All of them got to get fired. How the budget is constructed. What the hell?
There's something wrong, but I don't think it's not related to immigration.
I think I think it is. All these things are related. It's all related to our economy being broken. It's all in the same thing. It's all nonsense. You definitely agree with this. It's because we have these darn oligarchs who have been sucking us dry. There is no real middle class. Like the Bernie argument, the top 1% control how much of the wealth. And immigration, illegal immigration, let me be specific, is a contributing factor to this. This is why you see so many factories when like they're scared of ICE. There's like no one there, especially those chicken factories. I don't know if you heard about that. It's because they just hire illegal immigrants to exploit them and pay them cheap wages. That is crazy. Those jobs should be going to Americans. Like, I don't know how anyone could look at that and think to themselves like, oh man, we need to get the more illegal immigrants in here so I get my chicken wings. Like, what? Give that job to an American. Those companies are exploiting these people. They should not be doing it. They should not have this cheap labor. We should be making things in America. Yeah. we should actually have rules and regulations and fix our economy. Yeah. Like, I don't think that's so absurd. People shouldn't have to have their homes burned down.
That'll fix outsourcing. Because a company's always going to go where it's cheapest.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You know how you
why
fix the
they wouldn't
outsourcing?
choose Taiwan or wherever
You know how
else
you
to
fix
make
it? The outsourcing?
What, tariffs?
Yup. See, you already knew. You make things in America and you tariff. That's literally what you do. It's literally you want to outsource and go to wherever, pick a country. Guess what? Tariff. They're not going to do it because you know why the companies aren't going to do it? Because they tell you they're not going to do it. Because what do they want? They want cheap labor and they want high revenue. They cannot pay. They cannot sell their product in the biggest economy in the world. You really think they're going to do it? No, they're not going to do it. They want the money. They want the money. They're going to be like, okay, whoa. I'd rather pay my employees a living wage than go somewhere else and I can't sell it at all, or I got to pay like an absurd tariff. Like, come on, man. Come on,
I mean,
man.
that works if there's like an American substitute. Like you could do that with cars.
Yeah, that's why I said you got to make things
like,
in America.
okay,
Yeah.
BMW and Mercedes and this and that are going to go up, but at least you have an option if if Ford and GM and whatever else were made here.
Yeah,
but
no,
if it's
I
an
agree.
issue where we don't have a home team, or where we don't do it at all. Let's just say we don't make soy sauce at all.
Yeah,
like we don't make soy sauce, then I don't know if you could do a tariff. Like,
no, I definitely agree with that. Like there has to be an American version, and the reason like some of these other things have always been like, good, I guess you would say, because they've always been a cheaper, decent alternative to something we already have. That's why. Tariffs are kind of a good thing. You know what I mean? I mean, it is going to hurt us, but if it's being used to negotiate, to me, I'm looking at this and the numbers just pan out. Like, it's like, look, man, like we need to close our border. We need to figure out what's going on with the cheap labor, and it is illegal immigration. And yeah, it's bad optics when you see these same people. Like, I feel bad for them, but like, guys, you cannot break the law, come into the country, and then run around with your native country's flag and expect the average American who's like, yo, look, knowing that their economy is broken and their income isn't increasing with inflation, or the wealthy are just getting more wealthy, and look at this and be like, how do you have my best interest in mind? I'm supposed to get on your side just because what? Like, just because what? Like, no, like either be American or don't be American. Like, I just don't, like, what are we doing here? No other country would allow this. No other, if you've not seen Locked Up Abroad, go watch it. Literally, people have overstayed their visas in countries and been locked up, like Thai and like Vietnam or whatever, or the Philippines, locked up forever, like 10 years, like to overstay the visa, and then they went to a bar and they got to a fight. They got to a fight at a bar, got drunk. It was like, so you're locked up not because you got drunk in the bar, but you're also here illegally. That's what they're doing. These people, imagine these people some of them are violent criminals. They broke the law. They're here illegally, and then we're just supposed to be like, all right, well, shit. Like, what you want me to do, man? Come on, that's crazy. That's crazy.
But yeah, I agree that it should be deported. I don't think they should be locked up unless they, did some other crime or some like other serious crime.
Right.
They should just be dropped off at home. Like maybe if you find them a second time or a third time, but I don't want them to be in like some prison camp for years or months.
I agree. Because like, one, we have to pay for that. Two, like, no, unless they're like a extreme violent criminal, like some of these cartel or gang people. Honestly, like if their native countries don't want to lock them up and keep them locked up, I don't see a problem. If you have how many bodies or whatever you got going on, and you a violent criminal and you came here, you broke the law, and you harming Americans or whatever, you get caught, Guantanamo. Why would I have sympathy for that?
Nah.
Why would I have sympathy for that? What do you mean, nah?
Australia.
Okay. All right. You get the last word, man. You get the last word. I ain't gonna say nothing else.
If their home country doesn't want them, they got to go to Australia.
All right.
And then it's just in the outback. And you give them a little water and a sleeping bag, and then, whatever happens.
Got you. All right. So then let God sort them out. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Australia seems friendly, the weather and wildlife and stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, friendly outback Australia.
I mean, but yeah, all of this is an issue, but like kind of what you've hinted at. Like, I think if there's a systematic problem that's affecting the poor and the working class and the middle class and all of that, then the answer is a billionaire's fault or a corporation's fault. Like it's not an everyday person, and it's not, it's not, as Trump would say, it's not. I feel like he blames everything on immigrants, trans people, and black people, or maybe sometimes other people of color, but usually us. But yeah, and that's for pretty much no major issue. Is it one of those things? Like it always goes back to a billionaire and or $1 billion corporation. Like that's the issue with everything. You say we're a rich country. I mean, kinda. Like we're kind of a rich country. That front row at the inauguration, Musk and Zuckerberg and all of them, they have more money than like everyone else. Like literally, like they might as well be kings and queens and us peasants.
Right. I mean, I agree with that. So anyway, I mean, I think it needs to be fixed. I don't know. I don't think these protests are a good look, to be honest. Like I wouldn't do it personally. I don't think this helps their cause any. I think honestly it makes it worse. I think it pushes people away from their cause more than it pulls people in. I also think there's a direct equivalence again with African Americans. I do think, and I have seen African Americans look at these same things and they're like, wait a minute. Like this, to me, like logically, it just doesn't track. Like if you want to be American, be American. If you don't, go home. Like I don't generally understand it. Like I don't get it. To me, it comes off disingenuous. It comes off like you're saying the quiet part out loud. You're here to take advantage of a situation. You came in illegally and you don't want to be punished for it. That's what it is. Is it their fault? Not technically. Yeah, it's the billionaires. It's a problem. But collectively, we need to fix it. We need to fix it. And we need to at least start doing it now. Whether it's Trump or Obama who who deported more people than God or whatever, it needs to be fixed. It just does. So I don't know. I'm gonna end it there.